Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Bull City Hangout 313. I'm Pat Murray. I publish the Durham Skywriter, that's Durham's online community paper, which you can check out in its entirety at durhamskywriter.com. Now, it's Bull City Hangout. I tell you what's happening today in Durham. And I do invite you to click on the link right there on the Durham Skywriter Facebook page if you would like to join me on camera, shoot the breeze, say hello, or promote yourself and or your business. That would be great. And it would also be great if you could share this out so that more people here in Durham can find out what is happening. So let's start with the word page. That is the government and nonprofit information page, where you can encounter all kinds of great programs and services being offered by local nonprofits, the city, county, and state. They can all help you, and you can just go up and down the page and see what pertains to you. Oh, let me just give you some examples. Free tax prep, ways to help you catch up with your heating bill, your water bill, and you only have a couple more weeks to sign up for the LEAP program, the Low Income Energy Assistance Program, which is run by Durham County. So if you need help with that, definitely go to durhamskywriter.com, go to the word page, and then scroll down to Durham County to find out about the Low Income Energy Assistance Program and also the program run by the city that helps you catch up with your water bill. All right, let's see what else is on the word page. Now, I mentioned Book Harvest a lot, and this is where you can, well, they have on Thursday, and I'll be mentioning this at the end of the show, an event where young children can enjoy a bilingual story time. But I also want to point out that the Book Harvest, which is at 2501 University Drive, right there where Highway 15501 starts, they have, I just wanted to mention that they have a Book Harvest family space. This is where parents, grandparents, and their young kids can read together, play with the puppets. They have a magnet wall so they can spell words and have fun. So the family space is open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 5, and there's no admission fee. I also wanted to mention that they have shelves outdoors where 24/7, if you happen to be maybe on the way back from, I don't know, grocery store, Bible study, whatever, you can go by there with your child and choose a book to take home and read together, which I think is a great idea. Okay, let me continue. Now, Dress for Success is a relatively new posting on the word page, and that is where women who are getting back into the workforce or who want to enter the workforce, they might be low income, maybe they don't have anything nice to wear and they're embarrassed and they don't go out for job interviews. Well, all that can be solved at Dress for Success, where people donate like new, nice clothing for women with lower incomes can go and, pick up clothes and, that fit and look nice. And also, in addition to that, knowing that you want to join the workforce or get back on your feet, they have coaching. All the services are free, of course. They have a network where you can learn how to develop whatever it is you do best, learn how to tell people about it with an elevator pitch. And that's where you can, in just a couple of sentences, like tell people what you're about, or just the best sentence about yourself that you could tell a prospective employer. So anyway, you can learn all about that. And there's more. There's workshops, there's webinars, all kinds of great stuff. Now, I'm mentioning Dress for Success to welcome them to the Durham Skywriter, of course, but also to let folks know that the next clothing donation day will be this coming Saturday from 10 until 3 at 701 Vickers Avenue. And people are saying, well, I have clothing for men. What do I do about that? I do have a link if you want to donate clothing for young men or men in general who want to join or rejoin the workforce. So I've got that link. All that information is on the word page. All righty. The Durham County Libraries are open until 8 Bragtown closes at 6. They reopen tomorrow at 9:30, and then Bragtown reopens tomorrow at 10. Let's see what's happening at Durham Tech Small Business Center, shall we? All righty. They're downtown, but what I'll be talking about today are online webinars that are live where you can ask questions, get all kinds of great information. So let's see what's being offered today, with it being Wednesday, the 13th. Let's see. Oh, here's one. Ooh, from 3 until 5. Here's a good one. Withholding tax basics for the small business owner. That's a good one. Here's another one from 6 until 7:30. Turn your passion into a business on Etsy. Another good one. And last but not least, and there's more. Actually, if you follow the link that's on the Word page, you'll see more classes that I didn't have room to add to the Word page. But here's the last one that's listed on the Word page for today, and that is the Black Business Accelerator Series, week 4, branding and marketing. So that's tonight, 6:30 until 8. All these are free. All you have to do is click on the link, and you can go ahead and sign up and get ready to take some notes. Now, it looks like SCORE is also going to have a workshop tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So let's see what's happening with SCORE. Service Corps of Retired Executives. They know everything there is to know about running business. They have mentors, all kinds of great help for you, free of charge. And they have workshops. Let's see. Here's an online workshop that's going to be held tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So sign up ASAP. Grant Writing 101, How to Create a Grant Proposal. That is a great, great skill to have and develop. And just keep in mind, you don't have to be nonprofit to get a grant. I've gotten at least 3 or 4 grants, and I'm not running a nonprofit. So there's a lot of opportunities out there. And sometimes you can just be, let me tell you real quick. Okay, as you might know, I'm also DJ 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗧𝗓, and I DJ at the downtown bus station when the weather's nice. I get paid to do it, but it was my idea. So I, in essence, wrote you could say it was a grant proposal, and I'm being funded. I've been doing it for years now. It was an idea that I came up with, and I thought it would be a good idea. I'm getting paid for it. It's really paid off. So it just so happens that I do know how to write grants because I took some classes in Chicago before I moved here. So it's a really good skill, Okay. And again, that's going to be tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So sign up for that. Okay, let's go to the To Your Health page. Let's see. Ooh, kind of slow today. Wait a minute. Come on. Ooh. Wait, there we are. Okay. Wow. Really delayed response on my iPad today. Still trying to get there. Give me a second. Oh, this is wild. Am I ever going to get there? Okay, let me try another way. Okay. Something's going on with either the internet or what? Okay, now my screen is, there it is. Wow, that was the slowest it's ever been. But anyway, now I'm on the health page and got your COVID numbers. If you're interested in that, you can seek those out. That's the first post on the health page called To Your Health. And the American Red Cross is having a blood drive. So let me scroll down to that. So today, with it being the 13th, that means that you can donate blood at the North Carolina School of Science and Math. It's on Broad Street and, the official address is 1219 Broad Street. It's Broad Street and Club Boulevard. That's it. So they'll be setting up shop at 1:30 and they'll be there until 6. Now, tomorrow, they're going to be at Duke Regional Hospital in the Behavioral Health Center. That's at 3643 North Roxborough Street, tomorrow, 9 until 3. The Blood Connection is also going to have a blood drive. So today, they're at the VA, the Durham Veterans Administration Center, 501 Fulton Street they already started, and they'll be there until 3. And then tomorrow, they will be at Sprouts on Highway 54 from 10:30 until 1:30. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. Let's go to the health events page. Let's go there. Let's click on the big blue button and see how quickly we can get over to the health events page. Things are really slow. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, it's the 13th. The American Dance Festival. This is really sweet of them. They have free classes for people with Parkinson's disease and also their care partners at their studios, 721 Broad Street. So Heather Bryce is going to lead a dance for Parkinson's class. That should be really fun. It's going to be from 2 until 3:15. I've got the phone number if you want to call and ask any questions. And then I have a link also there so you can sign up. Now tomorrow they'll also have a free class, and that will be from 2 until 3:15. I'll tell you about that tomorrow. Okay. And let's see. Let's go to the Let's Go page, shall we? Let's Go is a calendar of events page. Let's see what's scheduled for the Bull City, Durham, North Carolina. Let's see. It is the 13th. Now, if you can get in the door by 1, Catholic Charities is running the Durham Community Food Pantry. It's usually from 10 until 1 on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So as long as you get in the door, you can talk with the social worker. Tell them what you need in terms of food. You can get some groceries. Let them know if there's certain things you don't eat, like pork, for example. They have people there who speak Spanish, and there's one lady there who speaks French. Also, let them know what else you need because they have pull-up diapers from newborn to toddler age and big ones for adults. Let them know what else you need because sometimes they have clothing, shoes. You never know. People make donations to them every day. You never know if they have Outback. So let them know if you need something else, like coats or, whatever. Okay, let's see what else is here. Let's see. Oh, if you like music. I want to mention one more thing. I'm sorry. With it being Wednesday, if you can't make it in the door by 1, then with it being Wednesday, that means you can get in between 5 and 7. So you can try later. If you have like a part-time job, you can't rush there, can't get there fast enough. Okay, now Boxyard RTP, they have the Here and There live concert series. It's a noontime series that goes from noon until 2 on Wednesdays. Today's artist is Senegalese singer-songwriter 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗓. She's a great singer-songwriter. Listen to some beautiful music. Free admission. Bring your laptop or iPad or whatever. Maybe do some work. The weather is perfect for it. It's free, no strings attached. You will smell delicious pizza and other food, so you can, go ahead and buy a lunch if you'd like to do that. Let's see. New Visions of Africa restaurant will be giving away meals. That's going to be this afternoon from 3 until 6. If you are in need, they're at 1306 Fayetteville Street, right next door to W.D. Hill. You can park in W.D. Hill parking lot if you'd like to do that. If you're on the bus, it's the 5 or the 5K. Kings Park International Church, they have their food pantry and clothing closet. So not only can you get groceries, you can also get some clothing. Again, if you're getting back on your feet, that's another place you can go. 1305 Odyssey Drive from 5 until 6, and they're served by the number 12 bus. Okay. For those of you who always wanted to teach or work at Durham Parks and Recreation, now's your chance. You can now attend the job fair. They don't have these very often. So if you want to be a city employee, there you go. Durham Parks and Recreation, they are hiring part-timers and full-timers, all different capacities. That's going to be at the Walltown Recreation Center. And just know that they have 2 parking lots. You might not be aware of that, but they do have 2 parking lots. You can go on Club Boulevard or I think it's Guest Road. I'm not sure. I always go in on Club Boulevard, but I do know they have 2 parking lots, just in case it gets really crowded and you don't know where to park. Okay, so the job fair is going to be this evening from 5 until 7:30, and again, it's at Walltown, 1308 West Club Boulevard. And good luck. Hope you get a job with DPR. All right. Here's a really fun sounding class. Uke can do it. Beginning ukulele lessons for adults. So it's going to be today And then next week will be the last one. Next Wednesday will be the last one. So it's going to be held at the North Regional Library, 221 Milton Road, from 6 until 7 is free. And don't forget your ukulele. Now, if you always want to be a roller derby skater athlete, the Carolina Roller Derby New Skaters Recruitment Night and Fundraiser, okay, is being held at the Dirty Bull, which is downtown, 206 Broadway. And that will be from 7 until 9. You can meet the current players, talk about the sport, see if you want to join or at least become an enthusiastic fan. I checked their website. They're selling T-shirts, so you can become a fan and do it that way. So the Carolina Roller Derby was a founding member of the Women's Flat Track Derby Association when they used to be called the Carolina Roller Girls. So it's going to be, again, 7 till 9 at the Dirty Bull. That should be fun. Brett's open mic is 7 to 10 at the Blue Note Grill this evening, 709 Washington Street downtown. So this is where you pay $5 to get in. You hear some great music. Brett and his crew, they will be playing soul, smooth jazz, funk, whatever. You can join them on stage. Be sure to sign up when you get in. And that's another fun event. Now, tomorrow, the Book Harvest, which I mentioned earlier, they're going to have Stories from the Start, bilingual story time for babies ages 0 to 2. So that's tomorrow morning, 9:30 to 10:30, where very young children are invited to enjoy a story in English and Spanish, then followed by music, nursery rhymes, a little movement. And then afterwards, each family can choose a book to take home, which is so sweet. So sign up in advance. Be sure to register first. They need to know how many people are coming so they can make sure they have enough space and whatnot. Okay, let's see. One more thing. Is that it? Oh, like I mentioned before, Catholic Charities tomorrow will be open from 10 until 1. One more thing I want to mention. Midday Meander, a strolling conversation. That's at Sarah P. Duke Gardens. They didn't have a lot of activities last month, but this month they're back, inviting people to come in. So Midday Meander is where Kavana Anderson, and I remember her from Seeds. She is the Director of Learning and Community Engagement. She's going to lead a casual tour where you can swap plant stories, talk about horticultural history, or just enjoy being outside, smelling the flowers, looking at the flowers, and just enjoy being outdoors. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful day. So that's tomorrow from noon until 12:45. All right, let's check the weather. Let me grab my app so I can give you up to the second accuracy. 66 degrees right now. I have to go out as soon as this is over. It just turned to 60. It's 67 right now. Oh my God. Okay, so it's going to be 74 degrees today. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, it's 67 right now, going up to 74. Sunny all day long. Wonderful. Let's see. Now, tomorrow, it's going up to 78 degrees tomorrow. Am I in Durham? Where am I? This is wonderful. It's going to be sunny all day tomorrow as well. Wow. And with that, let's bring on Barb. She's waiting in the wings. Whew. I don't know what temperatures she's enjoying, but boy, oh boy, I am happy for this weather. Let me bring her on real quick and see what's going on. Barb, what's new?
Oh, it's crazy. I have been studying for a test that I need to actually take today.
Oh,
And so just trying to concentrate, and being an older person, it's not quite as easy as it used to be, you
I
know?
understand. I understand.
And I have to tell you, I mean, I was just so surprised. I mean, I wasn't surprised who our candidates were going to be for president,
Mhm.
but that came down yesterday, so there was all kinds of riffraff on Facebook, you know. But this one person that I, I I like to be independent, you know. I'm a Libra, so I like to be balanced in all my
Mhm. Mhm.
decisions. And one of the things that he shared I mean, because he was being very cautious also,
Mhm.
and but he shared an article about aging. About
Mhm.
how in the normal process of aging, you can't remember shit. Excuse me, but it's that thing of
Mhm.
where we can look at something, and then 10 minutes later you say, "What did you see, Barb?" And I can't
Oh,
tell you what I saw.
wow.
Where you
Wow.
can walk away for uh, an hour or so, and then you can look
Mhm.
back and visualize it. And as we get older, it gets harder and harder to do that.
Mhm.
So I was going through that list of things because are we okay? Are we still normal?
Sure.
Uh, and uh, do you automatically say, well, that person's got to have Alzheimer's or that person's got to have dementia? Or, they're always tagging a mental condition on it, but just the natural process of aging.
You
I
know,
don't think.
I was visiting the over 50, what's it called? The over 50 crowd at the East Regional Library yesterday, and we were talking about how, you know, um, like you're saying, getting old. People are talking about it like it's something bad. I said, it's funny they're approaching it like it's a moral failing of some kind.
Hmm.
And it's not. It's not at all.
Well, I know that um, kind of your background and what you followed over the years, and it's like I look at Clint Eastwood. I mean, you know who Clint Eastwood is, and
I
he's
haven't
still
seen him in
working.
years. Yeah, he's an actor.
And
Yeah.
96 now and still
Oh,
producing.
really?
Yeah, and
Oh, I
still
didn't know.
producing. He
Oh,
doesn't come on
really?
screen, but I started watching him as a kid on
Yeah.
Rawhide, I think it was. And
Oh, is that his show? Yeah, we used to watch Rawhide. Was that him?
yeah, and
Okay.
the whole thing was that he took care of himself. I don't know.
Mhm.
I mean, I kind of followed his life story because
Mhm.
I admired him as in his talents for creating film and telling stories and stuff.
Mhm.
And I was I got to tell you, I don't remember how old I was at the time, but I was blown away one day when I
Mhm.
saw him selling a blender on television. How they would take those, stars would come up and they would endorse certain products,
Mhm.
on TV,
Mhm.
and he was selling a blender, but he was talking about how he blended, like his carrot juice and all of that, and he was paying
Okay.
very close attention to his health,
Mhm.
and he's done that all his life,
Mhm.
and I think that's is just for all of us. It's like how you take care of yourself through your lifetime. All of these other things impact you.
I think it
What
definitely
these
helps.
other things meaning the normal aging things.
Mhm.
But the question came up is like, how long can you be productive and do great things,
Mhm.
given that both of the people that we have running for office are over 70. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we currently have the oldest president we've ever had. So it's like, well, wait a minute. Just the normal aging. What's going to happen in 4 years as a normal aging process?
Yeah.
If you're perfectly healthy, what can we expect? And so they had these. My friend who shared his post on Facebook, I just thought it was phenomenal because he approached it that way. As I'm concerned, take care of our health. Health
Mhm.
comes first, and looking at what doctors are, actually saying about it. And
So,
so, just like you, I mean, we just keep going, and it's like maybe I can't remember something instantly, but it's there. And
yeah, it
things.
was it was interesting watching my aunt who had Alzheimer's, watching how she tried her best to hang on to her mind,
Mm-hmm,
and how she would just naturally, I'm sure everybody does it if they get old enough and if they get Alzheimer's, um, develop shortcuts. I noticed that she would always say the same thing about someone. If I mentioned that she had an old friend who she grew up with, and I mentioned her name, And Titi would say, "Oh, she's a smart girl. She graduated high school in 3 years." And she would always say that
Mm-hmm.
when I said the person's name. And that was one way I think she was trying to remember her, keep her in her memory, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
And I would show her a picture of my mom, and she'd say, "Jean, my Jean." She'd always
Mm-hmm.
say that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was her way of trying
Holding on
to,
to reality, yeah,
yeah. And of course,
for
once you
sure.
lose that, then it's really downhill after that. But after being a caregiver for so long and seeing my dad also go through Alzheimer's, and also I had the pleasure of watching my granddad live to 103.
Wow.
Yeah, he was the first health nut. He was a health nut back. He said he started really thinking about health and eating right in 1929, and he lived to be 103. And I watched him and how vibrant he was until 102. The last year was rough.
Yeah.
But he performed at his, he was a musician. He performed at his 100th birthday party and was quite vibrant, reading, writing, typing letters, advising old celebrities how to eat and all that kind of stuff. And he he slowed down, of course. I mean, he was old,
Mm-hmm.
but he was vibrant and brilliant because he stayed active and looked after himself. And you can't live forever; it's impossible.
Yeah.
But when I look at uh, Biden, he kind of reminds me of my granddad in that he's active and
Mm-hmm.
still witty.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he's going to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but his getting old doesn't um,
Age is the
alarm
yeah.
alarm me because that's what you're supposed to do if you don't die. You're
Exactly.
supposed to get old.
But I think that, everybody's discounting that's just a normal part of living. Some of the reactions that are being blown out of proportion. Um,
Well, obviously, they've never been caregivers and they've never been old.
right. There you go. Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
so
But I'm now, I look at the age I am now, and just this, I was telling my husband that just this year is when I noticed that I couldn't look at something and then immediately tell you exactly what I saw,
hmm.
unless you said, Barb, look at your watch now, tell me what color it is, and then look back, or look at your watch now, look back at me now, tell me what color your watch is, or something like that.
Whoa.
That is a normal part of the aging process. And
Hmm.
so I found that if you, depending on your vitamins, it depends on your health care,
Hmm.
your self health care. If you
Yeah.
take care of yourself,
Hmm.
it definitely, every single day, you notice a difference. So
So if you master that skill, if you do that a lot throughout the day, does that help you
repeat
your,
it. Yeah.
your mind function in other areas?
Yep. Yep. So, and that's
Ooh.
like my husband, um, his career was being a CPA
Hmm.
and
Oh.
accounting,
Hmm.
but his passion was playing golf.
Hmm.
So it was, take care of work and then take off and play golf. Well, he chose, as he, very early on, he said, "I've watched this. The guy's getting older and stuff, and
Hmm.
I want to play golf as long as I live. It would just make me happy if I even, uh, left this world at the golf course," kind of thing,
Okay.
like he was still playing, right?
Hmm.
But um, for his, because he gets full exams every year, and for his age and what he's really at the top of his game, and it's because he took care of himself.
Nice.
And what he did is, when he got started, is he chose to walk the golf course all these years.
Hmm.
It's not, some of the courses won't allow you must rent a cart, and
Oh.
but they can't keep you from, he would rent when he had to, but they can't keep him from walking, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So
Okay.
always having others with him. So I think, and I look back at the people in my life story, who've lived the longest,
Hmm.
all of them that were able to walk were the longest living ones, you know.
I think there's something else too that you might not be thinking about. Having a happy life
Yeah,
and a happy
true.
apparently happy marriage is,
That helps as
you know,
well.
because I would hate the feeling of dread or fear or resentment if I had to harbor those feelings upon my arrival from work.
Yeah,
Because I'm sure that's got to be life shortening to feel negative feelings when you get home.
I agree with you a thousand
Yeah.
percent on that front. I know I learned that the hard way, having cancer, because
Mm.
even in the story in taking care of me, the doctors said, well, you didn't help matters because you had so much stress on you. You
Mm.
were internalizing all everything, it's
Yeah.
like you got to fix it and it's not your responsibility, just calm down. And um, so I went through lots of counseling to just, survive
Mhm.
basically and be
Mhm.
able to make it through the surgeries and come out again. So I
Wow.
absolutely agree with you on that.
I had a friend named William. He died a couple of weeks ago, but um, he got bit by something which destroyed his. What is it when you have dialysis? Kidneys or liver? Kidneys.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I think he had kidney failure because something bit him,
Wow.
like some weird spider or something. So he suddenly had all this damage to his kidneys, and then he had to go on dialysis. And he later did get a transplant, which is beautiful. But while he was getting dialysis, he was always cheerful.
Hmm.
And one of the staff members said, I guess a lot of people in dialysis, I guess they're maybe feeling bad. I don't know. I've never been inside one of those places, but he was always chipper and quoting the Bible to people and giving them encouragement. And the guy was like, he was asking him, why are you so happy? What's up with that? You're on dialysis. Don't you realize? In essence, he was trying to ask him, don't you realize how bad off you are? And then William quoted, I can't remember what exactly the Bible verse, but basically the Bible states that it's good to be happy in whatever circumstance you're in. So
Hmm.
he was being happy and joyful while unfortunately having kidney failure and being on dialysis. And uh, and the guy understood because he had to explain it to him. You're really supposed to be happy no matter what, And it really he led a good life. Like I say, he eventually got a transplant and lived for a few more years, and
Wow.
yeah, and really ministered to a lot of people. He was a good guy, but I think that's kind of a good thing to realize. Even though you might be bad off in one area, you're still here, and hopefully you're able to help others
Exactly.
and to be happy. Because things like cancer, I read that like negativity is like it can poison you. I don't know if it's just
Hmm.
cancer. I was reading about cancer though, but they were saying how negativity can like poison your system, and that can shorten your life too, or at least lead to poor health.
I agree with that.
So yeah.
I mean, I inherited my plight, as often does in that realm. But
Hmm.
you exacerbate the situation by the life you're living at the time that is going on, or perhaps before, 10 years before. I
Mm-hmm.
had the tumor growing in me for almost 10 years and didn't even realize it.
Whoa.
So, because I didn't pay attention to taking care of me, I was taking
Oh.
care of others, and that's
Mm.
a lot of us do that.
See, a lot of women do that in particular. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what, men too, because men, you can't get a guy to the doctor unless something's wrong. So it's not. They say women put themselves last, but I think men do too. But it might be a different lack of motivation with men. I'm not sure because my dad, I don't think he ever went to the doctor until the end of his life,
Mhm.
and I know a lot of guys kind of ignore their health. Yeah. My uncle was like that. He had a horrible cough, And we were like, you need to look into that, Uncle Jay. And he said, I'd rather not know. So
Wow.
and he went ahead and died. And I was like, he died way too soon. But anyway, I'm not trying to get morbid, but it's part of life.
Right, it's taking care of yourself. So,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And even if you don't want to know, if you catch it early enough, you can deal with it. Because I was reading that white women um, die far less than black women from breast cancer. It could be also that many black women might not have the same level of health care and access to health care, but
Yeah, could be.
also it's very often when black women realize something's wrong, they're already third or even fourth stage
Hmm.
cancer. And that very often white women, they'll catch it early and have only instead of the operations, they'll have the 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 chemo or the what's the
Hmm.
other word? It's it's chemo, but there's another procedure that's not as invasive. I can't remember what the word is, but very often that's what white women. If you want to make a distinction, it's because they're more likely to, maybe it's the fact that they can afford to go
Hmm.
to the doctor, you know,
I really didn't. I've
before
had,
they're
my
desperate.
mother had breast cancer, and one of the girl that was my very best friend at the time, oh, the early days of the internet,
Hmm.
.com side of the internet, and I flew to Atlanta to be with my girlfriend who, I mean, it was just, she was an athlete, always took care of herself,
Hmm.
and they detected breast cancer, and so she was living alone, so I went and took
Ooh,
care of her, while
wow.
she was going through that.
Hmm.
And I didn't, it's like for myself, I was not paying attention to my own body, and that I was, like I said, I was trying to be there for others,
Hmm.
and not paying attention to what was going on with myself,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
also how things that were going on with others I cared about were impacting my life.
Hmm.
Because, as women, we kind of take that on. We're nurturers, and we want everything to work out for
We
everybody.
want to make
But
everybody better,
yeah, yeah. So,
improve their situations.
lesson learned. I can't
Yeah.
believe I'm still here, but I'm extremely grateful.
Well, I'm glad you
Uh,
are.
yeah.
Boy.
I mean, actually, when I met you, it was like, well, I probably have 6 months, maybe a year kind of thing, when we all
Whoa.
first met. But
And that was
because
years ago. Wow.
yeah, because I still had a couple of surgeries to go, and I mean, and when I started in it, they told me I didn't have more than a week, so I feel
Whoa.
extremely. I mean,
No pressure.
yeah, so,
Gee. How do
and
you
I
do
did.
everything you want to do in life in a week?
Something like that is like, you gotta be kidding me. I said, you guys have to be more, and this sounds so Barb. Is I said, you gotta be more educated than that. Have you Googled it?
Wow.
And that's exactly, I said, give me my computer. I'm going to research it.
Wow.
And I actually found two avenues, and I said, you need to call these doctors, see what's going on.
Oh,
No kidding.
wow.
And so, and the rest is history. They were very open minded. I mean, what did they have to lose? They weren't
So you
sitting.
went to different doctors then?
No, they can tell them what to do. I
Oh,
don't want
oh,
to go.
oh,
It's
oh,
like,
okay. Yeah.
oh, did you do this? Did you do that? And I
Mhm.
refused to have chemo because my father died from the radon poisoning from the uranium mines, and I had already learned just
Oh.
exactly what the chemo does to people. And
That's the word I was trying to think of, radiation treatments. But go ahead.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so I knew about that, and I thought I won't have a ghost chance at all if I do that.
Mm.
And they said, well, that if I don't, it could be even shorter. And I said, no, I'm not going to take that gamble. I
Wow.
would rather, if
That's gutsy.
my story is supposed to end here, it'll just end. But I also feel
Wow.
that having been a caregiver for others, that we kind of know these things when it's our time to go. We actually do, we feel it, we
Hmm.
know it's happening.
Yeah.
So, and I just didn't feel that. I felt like it was another learning experience for
Trust your
everybody
gut for
involved.
sure. But another thing, though, sometimes these pronouncements by medical professionals are kind of like voodoo, like in Haiti. Like they say, voodoo works, but only if you believe in it. So
Yeah,
if the Haitian doctor, not doctor, but they used to call them witch doctor. That's probably derogatory. But if they said, somebody put something on you and you're going to die in 3 weeks, your worry, your belief in it, in 3 weeks you're going to have like a heart attack because you've driven yourself crazy. But if you don't believe in it, they can say anything to you, and you're just like, come on, yeah, right, voodoo, and then you're fine.
exactly.
So, but still, I would still say to take medical professionals for their word when it comes to prevention and treatment. But like what you're saying, you have to have some self reflection as well. And if you're not feeling it, educate yourself and then act appropriately and do appropriately.
Well, I
Yeah.
was fortunate to have doctors in my family history.
Mm.
And, you know, the first thing that I was taught is that it's the practice of medicine, you
Yes.
know,
Hmm.
and they're licensed to do that. They are not perfect, they're
It's a
always
practice
learning.
and an art.
And so, therefore, the best ones are always researching,
Hmm. Oh,
and
okay.
trying to improve. I mean, it's just like me saying, "Well, I'm a lifelong learner. I want to make sure." And that's another thing about the aging process is, I've always pitched those Udemy classes because they have lifetime access to them.
Okay.
So if you can get a really good instructor
Hmm.
in, topics that you enjoy, then you can always go back and go through them. If you couldn't remember them from the first time through, they
Hmm.
would always be there to go through again. But on the
Nice.
doctor front, um, the very best doctors continue to research till past their retirement even,
Hmm.
and I think that it's just, again, it's like I said, when it's your time to go, I think you'll know it. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, has been my experience in being a caregiver for others. It
Hmm.
just seems, because then we just give up and go, and
Yeah.
so I think that we can have a lot to do with our longevity and our mental acuity
Hmm.
if we just take care of ourselves. So,
And actually, I guess if you have something to live for, that can help as well. I remember Howard Morgan.
ah,
He was a jazz guitarist who I knew, and he said that his doctors could not figure out how he was still alive. He had some kind of leukemia,
hmm,
some big word, but I can't remember what it was. But anyway, his doctors, they were like, "How are you still alive?" And he said, "I'm not going anywhere until I finish my book." He was working on a big jazz improvisational keyboard manual. It was like a revolutionary. If you read music and if you're into jazz guitar, it was like an incredible tome. And he said, "I put a lot of work into this. I'm not going anywhere until I finish it." And so I was like, "Wow, okay, well, go ahead, Howard." He wasn't well enough to record the CD that went along with it, but he had somebody else do it. But he did finish that book. I tell you what. Well, plus he was also in a happy marriage and had lovely
yeah.
children and all that. But he wasn't ready to go until he was ready to go. So there, I got things to do. You
Yeah,
don't tell me when I'm going.
exactly. Anyway, I better get back to work, and I just wanted to stop in and say hi, and
I'm so glad you did.
yeah, you
And I
take.
need to get into, I'm going to write this down. I need to check out Udemy. You keep mentioning it, and do I
Well,
ever
I have
find the
that group,
time?
that I have that group where those free coupons are. You can test out some of the courses
Let me do
over
that.
that.
Barb's group. Okay. I will do that, Barb, because, and I know we were supposed to get together and test something with StreamYard, and I guess both of us just keep running out of time, but we will eventually. Uh, I think there's some experimenting we wanted to do with Instagram or something. So we'll eventually
Mm.
get to that, Barb, for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll talk to you later. You have a great day.
Okay. Take care, Barb. Thanks a lot for
Uh-huh.
dropping by.
Bye bye.
Okay, bye bye. So fun. And you can drop by as well. I do Bull City Hangout noon every weekday, usually live, sometimes pre-recorded if I have a like a meeting or something. But also I do Bull City Hangout on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Ooh, I'm gonna be at Durham Tech. I don't know if I have to pre-record my show for Saturday because I'm supposed to be at a health fair at Durham Tech. But anyway, I'll work that out some kind of way. You have a beautiful day. Take a walk. I'm about to do that. Check with your elders. And I'll see you tomorrow at noon for Bull City Hangout. Ciao for now.